Alright, today we're having a look at ANANAS by mother-misty. Alright, so here we are in ANANAS by mother-misty. Mother-misty is a creator that I kind of ran into on accident, luckily, perhaps, in one of our streams. And really enjoyed the level that we played there. Took a little look at a couple of other ones that they'd done. And said, yeah, this is definitely a creator I want to take a look at. This is LBP 1, which is one of the things that really kind of stood out to me when we were playing on stream, because it does not have the kind of typical LBP 1 look to it, and oh fudge. Oh, crumbs! Everything is grabbable. That is a problem. Doesn't really have the typical LBP1 look to it, and it really stood out to me. And something that I enjoyed, this very bright, but oh, fudge! But also very different. I'm never getting up there. Oh my god. But interesting, fun mechanics. Very zippy speed through the level. Tough, definitely tough, and probably in this one, although I do think that it's kind of part of the purpose, that levels maybe got a little bit more grabbable material than is 100% necessary. I do think that's supposed to screw you up, though. I'm loving just all of the movement that's going on, all the rushing around in the background. Now, these are meant to be played multiplayer, and I did have a chance to play this with another player on stream, with Hirunda on stream, which is a little bit unusual for me. I don't generally get to do too much multiplayer play in general. Why did you stop? No, don't stop. Why are you... Okay, it's part of the cycle. Part of the cycle of violence that this level is committing on me? I am loving it. It's fun to play. That's the important thing. I think sometimes it's easy to get wrapped up in kind of presenting a mood or presenting an environment and kind of forgetting how to make the level actually enjoyable. But this is definitely enjoyable. It's also very frenetic, though. Oh crud, how do I get... It's telling me to go up, but how do I... Like, where up? What is the up that they want me to do? I'm having a little bit of trouble parsing this, unfortunately. Zip? Zop? I want to get... Okay, I think I want to get over to there. Fudge. Okay, zip me up. Cool. Maybe? Cool? I think. Okay, there's a checkpoint over there, so that's definitely where I need to go. Oh, fudge! That is our... Let me get to the checkpoint, and then we're going to have to go back to the hub, and we'll see you there. See yas! And we're back, and ANANAS by mother-misty, and I would say that this is it's a green circle. It's a definite green circle. Maybe a little bit softer than some of the other ones that are in the series that we're going to be talking about, but all in all and overall, I had a really good time with this level. I think it's extremely well done and well presented. Something that we talked about in the first impressions videos, I feel like the levels in this series, even though they're gosh, by now well, it's 2009, so it's a long time ago. It's 13 years ago that these levels were put out. Very early on in the LBP1 kind of community create era, but it really doesn't have that kind of look. I find with a lot of, particularly very early LBP1 levels, there's a certain blockiness to things, there's a certain unpolished nature to the way the camera work is handled and the way things are shaped and colored, that this avoids very well. The level looks very much of itself. It's got its own design philosophy, and also, as I said, very different from what we would see in the LBP1 era, and I adored that aspect of it. I love the bright poppiness, even though this particular level uses a lot of the blues, the scaly blues, and the purples. There's still a pop to the level visually that I really like. Gameplay as well, I find for the most part that the gameplay here is pretty quick, pretty zippy. it's set up as a race, and you want to have a good, quick momentum for your races, and for the most part, it does have that here. There are a few places where I feel like timing can get things hung up a little bit, momentum can get things hung up just a little bit. We saw it in the first impressions video where you've got the rotating bits, and like the actual platform that you're on rotates with your weight, but then it's on a rotation itself, so you kind of want to get to the bottom of it and drop onto the one beneath to ride that one up. And that one, if you miss your jumps on that one, it can slow you down a little bit. There's a bit later on where you're getting flung up on these thermometer-shaped bits of material, and making sure you're grabbing from the right point, being able to judge where the pivot point is at first blush can be a little bit tough, but for the most part, I didn't find that it was too difficult to keep myself moving as I went along. The race itself is not too long. I found it to be around 5 minutes. In fact, all the levels in this set, I think that the shortest one was about 3 minutes, and the longest one was about 6, so there's that. It's not a huge time investment. I do think that these levels, a little bit unusually perhaps, but I feel like these levels play a little bit better with somebody else to challenge against and kind of screw up the other player a little bit. I noticed that, as I mentioned in the first impressions video, I played a couple of these with Hirunda on a stream, and we just had like a great time getting in each other's ways and trying to edge each other out for points to get to the lead. And even though I think that you can have a great time with them in single player mode, that they do shine even more in multiplayer. Now, this is part of kind of a 4-level series. I don't know if there's a progression because they're level linked, but there's arrows going all over the place. But you've got Novelty Waves, which was one of the ones that we played on the stream. And Novelty Waves I really enjoyed. It's extremely bright. It's very visually bright and poppy, and I thought that was really cool. There's also a couple of particularly for the time, unusual bits of movement in the level and allowing movement for players that I really enjoyed. There's there's a bit where some triangle parts are coming out of the wall, and it builds up a slope, but if you take too long, then that slope will overhang on you and you'll have to go back down to the bottom and start it over again. I thought that was really cool. There's also a level called Vilter that we played, and I think of them all, gameplay-wise, Vilter's probably my favorite. It feels like there's a lot more as far as like branching paths and finding different ways to go to get your bubble score up. I feel like the other levels are a bit more straightforward as far as the levels are, whereas Vilter, there's more replay value to see, like, where could I go this time? That was really cool. There's another one that I think should be read as triangle. It's like / underline and then backslash. So I guess that means triangle. There's a lot of triangle designs in the level. I struggled the most with that one, and in fact, I didn't actually complete triangle. There's some movement areas in it that I think were a little bit difficult to wrap my head around, and I struggled with, but I did enjoy that one as well. But all 4 of the levels in this set, Novelty Waves, Filter, Triangle, and ANANAS, are great, and I feel like if you're looking for what's a good marriage of presentation and gameplay, there's not really like a story going on in the level. It's not trying to sell an environment, but it is presenting an environment in a very visually pleasing way that matches up with the gameplay of the level quite well. If you're looking for like a primer on how to integrate those elements, I think that you could do a lot worse than taking a look at these 4 levels. And, you know, they're not going to take you too much time. You should have a lot of fun with them. So please, by all means, give them a look. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I've got to say about this one. It was nice, easy review. No stress on my part to play, no stress on my part to talk about. So give them all a shot. And that pretty much does it for us here this go about. So from me, Visco, here in Tokyo, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, Thank you. Arigato. Arigato. Sayonara. See you. And ciao.